Man, oh man, how long has it been since we talked about Xbox acquiring a brand new studio to join the already stacked Xbox Game Studio family? I can't remember the last time I talked about something like this because there's been so many other news topics flying around surrounding the Xbox Series X or even the PlayStation 5 reveals. Not to mention all the games being announced by not only Sony, but also Microsoft's Xbox. I mean, there's been a lot of news to cover lately, and something that's been falling behind in the coverage has to be the studio acquisitions that have been rumored around the gaming industry. But finally, we have some substantial news in regards to a couple new studio acquisitions, and it's probably going to happen sooner or later. Now, I know this isn't confirmed, and I have to say that this is just a rumor, and again, we should take this with a huge grain of salt, but some of these new studios that are rumored to be in talks with multiple companies are Polish studios. And if we remember months ago, we had a massive rumor that Microsoft was in talks with Polish studios. So all of these things are coming together, and a lot of these studios might not be ones we even pictured Microsoft to be buying. But they have a lot of talent, and with the right leadership and funding, they just might be a great studio to join the Xbox family. So let's get into these articles and these rumors and discuss which studios are being targeted by Xbox, because so far, I can't wait to see what happens and how this all unfolds. But like always, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. Alright, so first of all, I do have to say this is all rumor based and we should take this all with a huge grain of salt. But like I've said before, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And from what we've heard about Xbox and their aggressive demeanor when it comes to first party studios, I think we shouldn't be surprised when we hear about Xbox wanting to buy a new studio or multiple new studios. Which brings me to the first article I want to talk about, which brings up a new studio that's been in talks with a couple of companies. And that's the Farm 51, who are based in Poland and have made some graphically impressive games, which it would seem has caught the attention of Microsoft, who are always looking to expand their first-party studios so they can gather as much talent into their Xbox platform. Here's what the article has to say. Since late last year, rumors circulated within the digital realm that Microsoft is planning another acquisition. Microsoft is reportedly eyeing one of the biggest Polish studios, but which one? Among others, the Farm 51 is rumored to be the studio Microsoft is interested in. And to make matters interesting, it looks like the Farm 51 is preparing for a new investor to join the party. Now, we've known for a very long time that Microsoft is always on the hunt for new talent, be it bringing someone to an already established studio to join the team, or if it means grabbing an entire studio so they can make games exclusively for the Xbox platform. So when we hear about Xbox shopping around in Poland, it doesn't really surprise me because this rumor has been talked about for ages now. And with a lot of talent coming from that area, it wouldn't be that big of a stretch to see them invest a lot of talent there. But what makes the Farm 51 so special is that they make graphically impressive games and are a studio of only 100 people. So this isn't some small studio that needs a lot of reworking. Instead, they're a studio that could hire maybe 30 or 50 more people and hit the ground running. Especially since they make pretty cool games that have horror elements tied to them. Which, if you look at the Xbox first-party studios, the one thing missing is the horror games. I mean, could you imagine if Xbox has all these studios making such a diverse library of games? It would be great to see them hit every single genre within the gaming world. But let's get back to why people think the Farm 51 is one of the studios they might be getting. Here's what the article continues to say. The Farm 51 is hosting its shareholders meeting on June 29 and plans to introduce a capital increase for a new strategic investor. The management board will be authorizing to increase the company's share capital in total by no more than PLN 470,510. This authorization granted the company's management to increase the share capital will enable the board to immediately issue new company shares after establishing its terms with a potential investor. A strategic investor usually invests to acquire a company at a later date. They invest to get an under-the-hood look at the company's progress. If things go well, the investor doesn't take long to acquire the company, in this case, the Farm 51. What this means is at the very least, the Farm 51 is one of the companies Microsoft is possibly close to acquiring. An investor coming in right when reports of Microsoft's interest in Polish studios are flying doesn't seem like a coincidence. Wow, I know that's a lot to digest, but it does paint a very easy picture for us to follow, because it shows that the company is planning to expand and even increase the company's share capital, which means they have a substantial investment coming into the company. Now, this usually happens when a bigger company is coming in and injecting a whole lot of capital into a new company they want to acquire. And like the article states, this will have the company acquire that company later on. Now, is this Microsoft? Maybe. And with all the rumors about Xbox being very interested in the Polish companies, this does fit the bill. Not to mention, the Farm 51 is one of the biggest studios in Poland. Are they as popular as CD Projekt Red and People Can Fly? No, they're not. But they are a studio with over 100 people. Like I said before, they also made some pretty big games that people might remember. Here's what the article says about their history and what Xbox might be doing with them. The Farm 51 is the creator of IPs such as Chernobyl Light, World War III, and the studio also handled The Witcher in 2007 as an outsourced project. Having such a capable team of developers on board will help Microsoft's next-gen cause. Rumor has it that Microsoft's July event will be a night of mic drops. Right now, it isn't far-fetched to think Microsoft is announcing its acquisition of the Farm 51 as part of one of the mic drop moments, but we'll know soon enough. Now, I know we all know what The Witcher is, and for this studio to work on that IP back in 2007 is a huge milestone for them. But also, they made some other games that might not be as popular, but they're pretty impressive for an independent studio to make. But the one thing they do bring to the table is the fact that they can be announced at the July event that Xbox is planning to have. And it's funny that the article brings that event up when they talk about the studio acquisition. But like I covered in my last video, Xbox does plan to have multiple mic drop moments at this July event. And some of those mic drop moments will be surrounding the games they show us, not to mention how much the consoles are rumored to be price-wise for the next generation. But what's funny is that I never mentioned studio acquisitions. And now with these new rumors, there could be some studios they announced there. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about the other studio that might be joining Xbox, which is Bluebird, who have been extremely close with Microsoft for some years now. They were front and center with the Blair Witch game at E3 2019, and now they were front and center at the Xbox May event with Medium. Here's what the article had to say. Bluebird team, the Polish studio behind Xbox Series X console exclusive The Medium, has entered merger and acquisition talks. Stock exchange documents reveal that the publicly listed company has entered a second round of talks with a dozen or so companies, including 3 from the United States, 2 from Poland, and 1 from the UK. It's not clear if the talks are for an acquisition or a sale of the company. However, given Bluebird's relative small size, it's likely to be the latter. Now, we all know this studio is mainly a horror game developer, and it's again a genre that Xbox as a first-party studio is missing. Not to mention that this developer has been really championed by Xbox in the last 2 shows they had over the year. Do I think this is a studio they could announce at the July event? Sure, especially since I think they're far smaller than the studios we've talked about, and they could be a studio that brings out a game every 2 or 3 years and hires a couple more people. Because currently they stand at about 30 employees, and they could expand to probably 50 or 60 and make some horror games that impress a lot of people. Do I want them personally? I don't know. I haven't seen much of their talent. I don't know how Blair Witch fared that much. I think a lot of people liked it, but it wasn't something great. I think with the right investment and the right money and maybe the right leadership, they could turn into something awesome. But again, horror games are not really my bag. As for me, I would much rather have the Farm 51, especially since I'm not that big of a horror game fan. Do I enjoy certain horror elements in my game? Sure, but I just don't run to the store and buy horror games. It's just not for me. As for the Farm 51, I think they're a very solid studio that has a lot of talent already in-house. Not to mention, they have the most potential to grow and be a studio of 150 people and could produce a solid AAA quality game every 3 years. And if you've heard me before on a podcast or in my videos, I think Xbox needs more of those studios, bigger studios making bigger games, not smaller games. I think we have enough of those. Let's start producing these big games that I want to see. Are they going to be a huge pillar developer like 343 or the Coalition? No, but they do remind me of Ben Studios at Sony, a developer that made solid games even though they were for portable devices. But they were given more funding and time to make Days Gone, which turned into a new IP that a lot of people enjoyed. Do I like the game? No, but I understand there's a foundation there, and making that game was a huge learning experience for the studio and the people working there. Not to mention, there are about 130 people in development size, which fits the bill of the Farm 51, who could get to that size with some more funding and could end up being a studio that over time turns into something great. And you never know, like Bend Studios, they could make a cool IP that people love, that sells well, and provides them more funding for their next game, which will help them make an even better game next time. Because to me, making a game is all about taking risks and understanding you're investing in talent to mature over time. No developer is going to make a game right out of the gate and have it be a massive hit that everyone loves. No, it takes time for them to get to that point. And I think Microsoft is starting to realize that, and maybe they see these studios as an investment and something that can grow into a profit later down the line. Let's hope whichever studio they get, or if they get a studio, we can be happy they're investing into gaming even more. And that over time, this investment will pay off huge for them, because in the end, it helps us, the gamers, get what we want the most, which is games, not to mention competition. But enough of what I think about all of this. Tell me what you think about all of this. Which studio do you want to see Xbox buy? Is the Farm 51 a studio you would want them to invest in? Is Bluebird a team you would like to see join Xbox? Have you played any of the games these developers made? Do you like horror games? Would you want Xbox to invest in more diverse developers like they have been lately? What other studios not mentioned do you want to see bought by Xbox? Do you think Sony is looking at some of these studios, or do you think Sony is going to buy any studio coming up? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there. So get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. Currently, I'm playing The Last of Us 2. The game is pretty long. I'm actually enjoying it. The graphics are insane. I think it's extremely brutal. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the story. There's certain elements I don't like, but hey, that's not for everyone. I'm just enjoying the gameplay, and I'm trying to get the best out of the game I can. And I've also been playing Sea of Thieves. Surprise, surprise. I love the game. I played it a bunch over the weekend. All the new content. The game is great, and I'm probably going to play it again this weekend. Go down below and let me know what you're playing. I would love to know what everyone's playing right now, because I know it's summertime, and I know a new big game came out, but I also know that people are probably going through their backlog. Tell me what you're playing. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.